Welcome to the Ditch the Struggle podcast. I'm your host, Alana Rosso. I'm a graphic designer turned career and success coach who knew I could do better, but kept falling short of where I wanted to go. But after years of exploring personal and career development, business, money mindset, and energy work, I'm here to tell you that yes, you can move from stuck and defeated to empowered and confident. Ready to dive in? Awesome. Together, let's ditch the struggle. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I want to ask you, are you miserable in your job? Are you miserable in your job? And if you are, here's a reason why you may be miserable in your job. It may not actually be the job, the actual job. It could be that you have had to make too many sacrifices, too many tiny sacrifices, almost not noticeable sacrifices to do the job you're doing. And then you end up miserable, totally mad, angry, frustrated, annoyed, not feeling fulfilled. So how this came up, or why I'm talking about this, is I was working with a coaching client recently who's not too happy in their job, wants to make a transition, I would say a toxic workplace. And they started talking about how, since they've been in the job, they've had to give something up. I said, okay, what is it? And I'll call her Grace. She said, I can no longer go to book club. This amazing book club I was a part of with these smart women, inspirational women, women that I loved being around. I cannot go to book club anymore because it's at 5:30 on like a Wednesday. And I can't get there because my workplace won't let me either work from home on Wednesdays or leave early on Wednesdays. Okay, so seemingly this is a small thing. Book club once a week. But is it a small thing? It's actually not, because I thought about this so much since our conversation. It's all these small things that we give up for a job. I mean, it can be for a whole bunch of other things, but I'm going to specifically talk about for our work. We give up all these small things in our life so that we can do this job that pays our bills. And then we wake up most days feeling miserable, not happy. And we don't realize it could be, and not in all cases, again, this woman was working in a pretty toxic environment, but in many cases, it's because, or in some cases, we are making too many of these tiny sacrifices. And then you wake up and you're like, this is not fun. This is not good. So it's the book club. It's giving up the book club. It's giving up the Monday evening yoga class with your favorite instructor. It's not being able to tuck your kids into bed every single day of the week. It's waking up exhausted from the long hours and not being able to do your morning walk. It's being at work and not having time to go get yourself that fancy Starbucks latte that makes you really happy every day. You know, it's the small things and they add up. And so really why I'm bringing this up is I think it's extremely helpful to reflect on all the sacrifices or the things that you're giving up to do the job you're in. And are they worth it? And or are they working for you? Some things are, really tiny and it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect your life too much. Maybe your job location changed. And so another 20 minutes is added to your commute every day. For some people, that's not a big deal. For some people, it would be. I worked with someone who used to commute from Hamilton to Toronto every single day and never saw it as an issue. Like, just completely accepted it as like normal, totally worth it, didn't stress him out. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to handle that at all for even a week. Like, it just would have been a deal breaker for me. But for some people, it's not. So you have to really reflect on what's a deal breaker for you or what's causing friction. And again, this example of the book club was so interesting because really, when we cut ourselves off from human connection, other connection with people we enjoy being around, that's actually one of the worst things that we could possibly do. Okay? It is so hard and so important to find these meaningful connections, to be around people you enjoy, because you're not always going to find that at work, right? To have those moments, those like couple hours where you just feel like you can be you, you're enjoying what you're doing. It's like you're uplifted. You know, those things that you leave and you feel better. So it's like if you were cutting out all these things, that yoga class where you walk out feeling like $1,000,000 every Monday night, if you can't get to it because of your job, the commute, whatever's happening, how long is it going to be before you are actually miserable, even if the job is great? It's the resentment that's going to kick in. And remember, resentment and anger usually kick in when a boundary has been crossed. And this is something that Brené Brown talks a lot about. And I totally on the same page with it. I was really upset over something a couple weeks ago, and I just could feel myself being triggered to high hell. Like I was just real triggered. I knew it. So I literally took myself out to sit in the backyard and just think it through. And I was like, okay, why am I really getting triggered? And it was a boundary had been severely crossed. And boundaries are different for everybody. But if you find yourself, let's say, miserable because it's, not getting to that yoga class, it's not just the yoga class. It's that your time is now impeded. Someone has crossed into your personal time. This is your space. So they've crossed a line, and your job potentially is making it harder for you to do the things that you want to do. So then what are you going to do? You're going to feel trapped. This job doesn't let me, I can't leave until 7:00 on Monday nights. I can't make this yoga class. I'm trapped. I'm feeling frustrated. I have no space for myself, that time. Now I'm just a slave to this job. Now I'm stuck. And so many of these feelings of being stuck and trapped and stressed out are going to make us miserable. But what I find kind of fascinating to think about is the tiny things. So it's easy to think about, okay, this job has really long hours. You kind of maybe know that going into it, it's a demanding job, and that's going to kind of potentially suck. Or, you have a boss that sucks. I mean, hey, I've been there. That's going to make things really awful. But you can find some reprieve if you can keep the small things in your life that give you joy. But if you strip away every single one of those little sparks of joy, they're all gone. So then what are you left with? You're left with a crappy job, the long hours, all these things. And even if you really enjoy your job, if you don't get to go to your book club, if you don't get to go to your yoga class, or you don't get to tuck your kids into bed, how long is it going to be before you resent that job and don't feel fulfilled in it? And it's pretty simple. It's because the things that are ultimately meaningful to you, the things that are attached to your core values, and your core values are your most deeply held priorities. So your health, your family, fun, adventure, whatever it is, everyone has core values. And when those are crossed, you're also going to be mad when you can't fulfill those core values, when you can't live those core values. So it's an interesting thing to think about, the tiny sacrifices. And the reason why you have to consciously sit down and think about them is because some of them are so not noticeable, right? So it may be very easy for you not to notice that suddenly you have no time to take that 15-minute coffee break every day, where you just got to walk outside, get some fresh air, get a drink that you enjoyed, sit by a tree for 5 minutes, just text your friend, just have that moment to yourself. It's really easy not to see that, that is gone, to be like, okay, that's just gone now. And you don't even stop to notice it. Or the other things that you're no longer doing. Like if it's also bleeding into the weekend, like suddenly on the weekend, you're so tired from your job that you don't have the time to do the gardening that you used to love that made you feel great. Again, how many weekends are going to go by where you're not gardening until you wake up and go, I'm freaking miserable. And you're miserable because all the things that you love doing, or some of the small things that you love doing, are no longer available to you, or they don't feel that way because you don't have the energy, the bandwidth, the time, the literal time to do it. So this is worth looking at and reflecting on and seeing where you can bring those little things back in. And the conversation I had with Michelle Niemeyer, and I'll put the episode in the show notes, she really talks a lot about this, is finding the things that light you up and putting them back into your life. So if you are having to stay in a job that's not maybe fulfilling to you, or it's kind of dragging you down, Well, part of your motivation for finding a new job and moving to something else has got to be because you want to put those things back into your life. Now, even if you're not in that job that's better yet, while you're in a job that kind of sucks or you're miserable or you're suffering, it is going to be up to you to find those tiny things that you can bring back in. Where can you really be clear that this has to happen? Now, the truth is, I would love to sit here and say, you're just going to tell that company that you have to leave at 4:30 on the Wednesday because you have something that you can't miss every week. I would love to be able to say that and be like, you just stand up for yourself. You just go, girl, do it, or whatever it is. Truthfully, that's not going to fly with a lot of companies. And right now, and I hate this term, but I'm going to throw it out there, it is kind of an employer's market. There are a lot of people, I'm again specifically talking about Canada, who are looking for work right now, a lot of people out of jobs. It's not a great job market. Now, don't drag yourself into the belief that there's nothing out there. There's always possibility, there's always potential. But I also don't live with my head in the sand, and I see and I keep up with what's going on in the job market. So it can be really hard to be like, I'm just going to draw a line in the sand and take it or leave it. I'm leaving early on Wednesdays. It might not fly. Now, can you have a conversation to be diplomatic about it and, again, request that you have this day to leave early or work from home? Yeah. But I can't say that it's going to go your way for sure, guaranteed, right? So some companies are just not flexible. And for me personally, what I've had to realize is that I cannot work for an inflexible company. And I have talked about this in a few different presentations I've done, especially in the design world, is you really have to look at companies as contractive or expansive. Now, I need to personally work for an expansive company, one that has a growth mindset, one that's very generous, one that is flexible. So for me, expansiveness is flexibility. I need to work somewhere where they're like, if you have to leave early on a Wednesday or whatever it is, just go. And that's the type of manager I always was. It's like, if you need to leave early, come in late because you had an appointment, you don't even have to tell me what it is. Just do it. I am not a micromanager, clearly. Who in the world loves a micromanager? Nobody. You need to find like an expansive workplace, however that's defined for you. Contractive is somewhere that's usually filled with micromanagers, tons of red tape, doesn't allow you to express yourself, maybe has rules and regulations that you don't love, just very, it's different for everybody, but that's what's on you is to figure out what's feeling contractive here, like tight and heavy, and what feels expansive, light and airy. So getting into an expansive workplace is the goal. Now, sometimes you don't know until you're in. They can market themselves and position themselves as this like really great culture. And then you get in there and you're like, this is not a great culture. I have so many bait and switch stories from this year. I'm just waiting for some people I know are in these situations of these jobs that they got into, that they sounded amazing and they thought they were amazing and they're kind of shit shows. I can't really tell the stories yet until they're done and transitioned. I generally don't talk about stories, either myself or of people I know when they're in it. I wait till they're done that chapter. So I've got some good stories coming down the pipe. But yeah, you need to find some places expansive. And the expansive place is going to help you and support you with the small things that make you feel good. It's going to a place that allows you to do that. Understands that you have to leave early on a certain days, understands that you need maybe just certain times to decompress or to take a break or to be on your own or whatever it is. You need to find that expansive place and you really need to do that audit. And I don't know why I'm using this word audit so much, but I think it really is about reflection and taking stock of all the small things that you've given up to do the job you're doing or to work for the company you're working for. And ask yourself, is what you're giving up reasonable? Is it like helping you? Is it good? Are you okay with it? Or is it really pissing you off? Is it really making you mad? Is that anger and resentment bubbling up? And then you got to be honest, like if it's too much and it's really annoying you and really upsetting you that you can't do these small things, because that's the point, they're not small things. That's what I love this. It's like they seem like they're small and tiny, but they're not. And when this woman, Grace, was telling me about not doing the book club, the look on her face and the sadness, I could feel it in my cells. I could feel the just disappointment that she couldn't have that experience every week, like that one thing to look forward to. And the secret to living a happy life is, for me, having something to always look forward to. Big or small, tiny. I don't care if it's a pedicure once a month, whatever it is. Also appreciating and having gratitude for what you have. But you know what? You can be grateful for the job you have and still want something better. It's like I heard someone say, you can love the body you're in and still want a six-pack. And I loved this because it's like you can have love and appreciation for what you have and be grateful you have a job in this crazy economy, 100%. You can still want something better. You can still want to go to a job where you have time for book club and yoga and tucking in your kids. So something for you to think about. How many sacrifices are you making? Is it worth it? Are they actually that tiny? And if you've made a whole bunch of tiny sacrifices, even if you're in a crap job right now, can you start to bring some of them in? Maybe not the way that you were originally. Maybe it's not book club on Wednesdays at 5:30, but something else. You'll find something on a Sunday that you can do. How can you bring those things back in? And what was it about those things that made you feel happy? Like really reflect on that. Was it the human connection? Was it the physically leaving the house and just changing environments? Was it the actual people? Was it the activity you were doing? Was it creative? Was it stimulating a part of your brain that you don't get to use in the week? If you have a really dry job and then you were doing pottery class once a week and it just made you feel like so much more relaxed and better. Like, what was it about the things that you've given up that you miss? And then find a way to put those things back into your life, replace them. May not be in the exact same way, but find a way to bring them back into your life so that you can reduce the misery factor and increase the joy factor. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining me today on Ditch the Struggle. You showing up here means so, so much to me. To dig deeper into the topics discussed today and to learn about my work, visit alanarosa.com. And don't forget to download your free resources while you're there. And if this episode resonated with you, please share with others who also want to ditch the struggle. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, leave a rating and a review, and let me know what you'd like to see more of on this podcast. And before I go, I want to leave you with my 3 favorite ways to ditch the struggle. Be your own best advocate, take baby steps for the win, and forget about a linear career path. It's overrated and you are doing just fine. See you next time.